Hi, hope everyone's doing alright today. My name is Martin Betley, and for this week's discussion board assignment, I'm going to take some time and talk about the Second Amendment, try to provide a different, unique perspective on what most people usually hear. So, right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in and going to talk about the Second Amendment and its importance in today's society. So I'm going to start by reading it. So, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. So, taking away from that, there's a lot of pieces in there that can sound confusing, sound a little bit outdated, but I just want to go over a few key words first. So, when you hear there, you're obviously going to hear the first term, militia. You're also going to hear security of a free state. So I'm going to take that a little bit and we're going to apply it into modern terms in a little bit. But let's focus on militia. What was a militia? Militia was originally a group of civilians coming together and helping to fight or fend off hostile forces. So when going on a little bit more, when you look at the way the framers created this amendment, is they created it in a way so that Congress, the federal version of the government, could never take away the state's right for self-defense. So when I read the Second Amendment, I'm still reading it in terms of states having that right to defend themselves and other unique missions, which will, like I said, we'll get into the modern portion later on. So a lot of people, I got to watch a video by CNN correspondent Jeffrey Tobin. He explained the Second Amendment as well as militias, and he kept talking about militias in a way that they seemed old and outdated. But for me, with my background in the military, when I think of militias, I think of the National Guard. So the National Guard traces its roots back to 1636 as originally a citizen force organized to protect families in small towns against hostile threats. So the National Guard, it's arguably the oldest branch of the military, they trace their roots back to this civilian force. So they were the ones defending themselves. So when Mr. Tobin talked about this, it's still relevant today. I mean, yes, the National Guard does play both a federal role, as federal missions as well as state missions, but it's still a little bit relevant in my opinion. So going on with this, each state has a right, has a National Guard, and they can both, though, if you're in the National Guard today in today's military, you still will deploy, but you will also provide state assistance. And I'm sure there's other people throughout the class that they've seen their respective National Guards, whether it's been for hurricane efforts, for massive snow relief. Obviously, the current situation with some of the rioting in Baltimore, National Guard soldiers were deployed to help with protecting assets. But excuse me. So still relevant. Military, like we just talked about a few different ways. You usually hear a lot of people talk about obviously right to bear their own arms, which that's a whole other conversation for a different day. I mean, that's books have been written on that to try to explain it. But that's my take on the Second Amendment, and thank you very much, and hope everyone has a great day.